Good afternoon, everybody. We are just getting ready to start. I see a bunch of you have put in the chat that you can't hear anything. Can you hear me now? Yes, I see that you can hear me now. Okay, great. Great. Can you also see the PowerPoint? Great. All right, I think we are ready to start. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm Miss Johnson. I'm Dana Johnson. I'm the principal here at Mary Williams Elementary, and with me is Miss Garcia, who is our assistant principal. We do have an interpreter available if there is anyone who needs Spanish interpretation. Next slide, please. All right, so if you are joining using a computer, please look for the interpretation button on your control bar. It looks like a globe. Once you click the globe icon, choose your preferred language, Spanish. After selecting your language, the icon should change to reflect your preferred language for interpretation. Please know that the globe will not appear until we have finished with the interpretation of this slide. We'll give these directions in Spanish too. If you are joining from your phone, click on Join Audio and then click on Call over Internet. Then click on the three dots for more, click on Spanish, and done. Okay, at the end of the presentation this afternoon, there will be an opportunity to answer some questions. You can type your questions into the Q&A, and then we will answer the questions at the end. So we'll translate this slide now just to see if there's anybody who needs this presentation in Spanish. Ms. Hawkins? Nope.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So vamos a comenzar el meeting y tenemos interpretación en español. Vamos a ofrecer esta interpretación en idiomas diferentes. En este caso podemos ofrecerla en español. Si ustedes necesitan ayuda con el español, sigan los pasos que están en este momento en la pantalla. El número 1, por favor, dele al botón de audio y luego dele al botón que pone Call over Internet. El segundo botón le da usted al globo terráqueo y le da los 3 botoncitos y donde pone More, que significa más. Y luego el tercer último paso, por favor seleccione el lenguaje en el icono que usted prefiera o el idioma que usted prefiera de interpretación, en este caso en español, y luego le da al botoncito que pone Done. All right, Ms. Johnson, you can proceed.
Okay, so if there's anybody, so they're going to click over to the globe. So if
yes, to the globe.
Okay.
Globo
So
terráqueo.
Right. So then we won't be able to hear you anymore. Okay. All right. It is, Ms. Garcia, can you go to the next slide, please? It is our hope that you leave this webinar with a better understanding of the plans for the upcoming school year. At the end of this meeting, I know you will have questions, and so we will do our best to answer any questions that you have. If we can't answer the question, then we will be sure to find out the answer and then to get back to you. Okay, so the pandemic has been hard for everyone, and we know there continue to be concerns. We are excited that nearly 97% of our students will be returning in person at the start of this school year. While our goal is to have every student return in person safely and to minimize any disruption to their learning, we recognize that some families have already chosen to have their students remain virtual. For all of those of you who have chosen the virtual only option, we will provide a high quality education for your student, and we will share more details about how that will look this year in just a moment. Be sure to mark your calendars, everyone. The first day for all students is August 23rd. We will be in person 5 days a week. All right, so with 97% of our students returning in person, we will be operating as close to pre-pandemic operations with a few modifications, including limited use of physical distancing. COVID-19 vacancies are not required for the start of the school, vaccines are not required for the start of the school year. However, be sure to make note of other vaccine requirements. So the typical vaccines that you take to enter school will still be required. A complete list of those is on the Prince William County website. Due to the limited ability to physical distance and the continued health concerns of COVID-19 from health experts, we will be implementing indoor masking when students are present in most situations. Masking has a number of benefits, including maintaining a mitigation layer when physical distancing is not possible. A significant benefit to masking is that the CDC does not consider students close contacts if they are wearing masks. This will minimize quarantines that disrupt their learning. Masking also will hopefully reduce potential staff illness or quarantine, meaning the teacher can stay in the child's classroom for those students who are coming in person. Please know that we realize masking is not fun. We continue to hear from people who are on both sides of the issue, people who want masks and who don't. And we are taking all of that into consideration. But when we begin school on August 23rd, we will be wearing masks indoors. It is our hope that we can work together as a community to the benefit of all and ensure the safest environment for everyone until we move to a situation where we can no longer require the masks. On the following slide, we will show you the most up-to-date guidance that we have for masks and face coverings. So we will review this chart. This chart outlines the requirements for masks. When indoors with students present, fully vaccinated and unvaccinated staff, students, and visitors must wear a mask. There is an exception for this for vaccinated teachers when a mask is inhibiting language instruction, especially with younger learners, English learners, and students who are receiving speech language services. Per federal requirements, go back, please. Per federal requirements, everyone must wear a mask on school buses. When eating, masks are not required, but are encouraged to be placed back on as soon as possible. When students are outdoors, including PE, recess, and bus stops, masks are not required. The physical distancing at recess when not wearing masks will be encouraged to prevent potential quarantines of large numbers of students. Indoors, as singing has been shown to be a source of spread, masks will be required for singing. When indoors and no students are present, vaccinated staff will not be required to wear a mask. Unvaccinated staff are required to wear a mask. Most Prince William County Schools staff were vaccinated earlier this year as part of the vaccination clinics. And lastly, any student or staff member whose disability or medical condition prevents them from wearing a mask will not be required to do so. Next slide, okay? Moving now to a few other key things we want you to know. Number one, thanks to federal funding available, breakfast and lunch for students, for all students, will be provided again this year at no cost. As we shared, with 97% of students in person, students will eat in the cafeteria following the pre-pandemic capacity. So we will have all of our students in the cafeteria to eat lunch by grade level. So we'll have most of a grade level in the cafeteria at the same time. Our specific school hours are 9:20 to 4:00 p.m. Our first bell will ring at 9:15 and our first dismissal bell rings at 3:50. Those hours that you see printed are last year's hours. Sorry about that. So this year we are 9:20 to 4:00. We will be running buses at full capacity, and so this means that we will not have very many double bus runs. In Prince William County Schools, we know everyone always wants the details as soon as possible for their students' bus and class schedule. Our staff will work very hard over the next 2 weeks to get everyone scheduled. Most of the information will be available to you in parent view around the following dates. On August 17th, transportation bus schedules will be released, and on August 18th, elementary schedules will be published in parent view. These dates are tentative, so we will try our best to get it done earlier. Okay, a few more important things to know. We are a one-to-one school. This means that we will be able to provide every student a laptop. Last year, our kindergarten and first graders had iPads. This year, they will have laptops. We will assign students their laptops, including students who are virtual. If your family needs help for internet access for your student at home, please email me or call the front office. Free at-home internet is available for any student with need. New this fall, we will be providing low-cost optional insurance through an outside company to families for student laptop damages or loss. Look for more information about this program from us as we get closer to laptop distributions. Both in-person and virtual students will continue to use Canvas, as this is our learning management system for every student. The hub, parent view, and student view will continue to be used by all students, and you will be asked to complete a new school year packet with forms in it, such as the emergency card, online via parent view or the hub. Completing these forms online ensures that you are able to provide your information securely directly into your child's account. And this reduces errors by staff when we transfer the information from the paper to our computer system. We would like to share some additional information that's important with you that will apply to all families across Prince William County Schools. First, it is important to note that students who are not previously enrolled in the virtual option may not change to virtual at this point. We are committed to continuity for every student, classroom, and teacher, and switching back and forth as we did last year is detrimental to learning. If a family has a need for virtual learning, exceptions for medical need will be considered by applying for homebound instruction services. Details of this process are available on the Prince William County Schools website. Those who did select virtual already and who want to return in person may do so at any time for any reason as required by the Virginia Department of Education. Please contact our front office to make the change to return to in-person. Students who chose virtual will be allowed to participate in out-of-school time activities that are offered in person. This includes enrichment activities, tutoring, mentoring, any kind of clubs that we will be doing. Lastly, unlike last year when cameras were optional, all virtual only students must have their camera on and engage in their class daily. Now we're going to talk about just the virtual only option. At the elementary level, Prince William County Schools worked hard to provide virtual students with optimal instructional experiences while maintaining a connection to our school, to Williams, the base school, and everything that was involved with being a part of Williams. Our virtual students will have opportunities to participate in activities connected to Williams Elementary. Space will be available for students who return to in-person learning from virtual instruction. Typically, across the division, there are low numbers of virtual students within grade levels at individual schools. So in order to create all virtual classes, the students have been grouped from several different schools to form all virtual classes by grade levels in a virtual academy model. Our students will be duly enrolled with Mary Williams, which is the base school, and with the Virtual Learning Academy as a program. The class sizes will remain within our Prince William County Schools requirements. Our all virtual classes will be led by veteran teachers with extensive training and experience with virtual instruction, contracted through a company called Proximity Learning. While these teachers are not from Mary Williams, the proximity teachers are leaders in the field that has been providing virtual instruction for school divisions since 2009. Proximity has worked with over 100 school divisions, and we are pleased to incorporate their expertise with virtual learning. The virtual teachers with Proximity will be following the Prince William County Schools curriculum and pacing. Our intent is for them to partner with school-based grade levels to be part of the planning with them. Additionally, Proximity will collaborate with our teachers for grades, report cards, and parent-teacher conferences. All of our virtual classes will follow the same master schedule, similar to in-person instruction. Our virtual students will participate in grade level assessments through the school year. Prince William County Schools has assigned Ms. Kim Worley, who is the principal of the upcoming Rosemount Lewis Elementary, and Donna Kirby, who is the former principal of Victory Elementary, to oversee the Virtual Learning Academy. Ms. Worley and Ms. Kirby will report to Dr. Jocelyn Hart, who is the Associate Superintendent for Western Elementary Schools. Continuing with aspects of the instructional program, our virtual students will receive encore instruction, that's PE, art, and music, with Proximity teachers who specialize in those areas. Counseling services will be provided through Mary Williams Elementary School. Regarding our students who receive special education services, individualized education programs, IEP teams will meet. The case manager will be from our school. The teams will meet to propose free and appropriate public education for all students. If parents or guardians indicate that they are choosing the virtual setting, the team will determine the amount of time and instructional areas that will be addressed through virtual instruction. Again, class sizes will be according to Prince William County Schools requirements. Students who receive speech and language or 504 services will have those services provided through Williams. Related services will also be provided through Williams, or in some cases through an itinerant staff member from Prince William County Schools. Students who receive support with English language services will receive their EL services with proximity teachers as well as part of their instructional day. This is for the virtual students we're talking about now. Our gifted students will receive all of their services virtually through Mary Williams. All right, so this completes all of the information that we are sharing for this afternoon. If more details can be found on the Prince William County Schools website, including detailed answers to many frequently asked questions. Be sure to look for division communication, including the Scoop newsletter, to get division-wide updates. Thank you for your time this afternoon. If you would like to remain on, we will answer questions now before we close for the afternoon. So you may go ahead and type your questions in the question and answer box. Thank you for trusting us as your partner in your students' education this school year. We appreciate your flexibility as we all adapt to a new normal, and we all hope for an end to the pandemic as soon as possible. It is going to be a great school year, and we are excited to get going. Okay, so I see there are some questions. Try to get to them. There are questions in the chat and in the Q&A. Parents, I'm going to ask you if you could please type your questions in the Q&A box where it says questions and answers, so we can keep track of them all in one screen. We have to go back and forth between Q&A and chat if you type them in the chat. So if you could just keep them in the Q&A, that will help us. Okay, so I'm going to try to start answering questions. I saw a question about devices, where to get devices. For the virtual students, you will get them here at school. We will have a device pickup day, much like we did last year for the virtual students. And it'll be closer to when school starts, but you'll have them in hand by the first day of school. I see a question that says, if you need assistance or have a question regarding assignments or test reviews, who can the virtual student contact? So the virtual student would contact the virtual teacher, and there will be an orientation coming up for the all virtual students with the proximity teachers, the virtual teachers. I believe the date of that is August 19th, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I will let you know. Well, they will reach out to you, or we will, with when they've confirmed that orientation date. There's a question about where did they get a list of supplies or the things students need for the quarter. The supply list is posted on our website right now. You just click on it. You should see it right on the front page, and you click on the grade level. We will also be sending out a link in the Sunday newsletter that we send out, the parent update. We will be sending that out on Sunday, and it will have links to the supply list as well. Will the students have the opportunity to meet their teachers before the classes start? Yes, we will be having an in-person open house, a meet the teacher night on August the 6th, the 19th, I'm sorry, August the 19th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. Is that right, Ms. Garcia? August the 19th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so we will have meet the teacher will be on Thursday, August 19th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. There will also be a virtual option for parents who do not want, for students who will be in person. But if you cannot come to the in-person meet the teacher, we will have an hour or 30-minute virtual session. And that is going to be at different times throughout the course of the week, depending on the grade level. We will publish that information in the newsletter as well. There is a question in the chat about whether or not vegetarian options will be provided as part of lunch. Yes, the answer is yes, vegetarian options will be provided every day as part of lunch. The open house for first graders. So we will have back to school night. There's a question about whether or not we'll have open house for first graders. We will have back to school night in October. but the first open house or meet the teacher is August 19th, 4:30, from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. When can we pick up for kindergarten laptops? We have not confirmed the date of device pickup yet, but it will be next week because it's before the first day of school. So in the Sunday news, nope, not next week, the following week, I'm sorry, the week of the 16th. So in the newsletter, we'll have that there. And Mr. Rashid, we can send you the application directly. Ms. Garcia has your name there. Okay, I see a question about whether or not students will have to be vaccinated. At this time, we do not have any information that students will have to receive the COVID vaccination. Students do have to receive the other vaccinations that are required for school entry, but at this time, there is no requirement for students to get the COVID vaccination. Okay, I see a question asking about where parents go to request to be moved to virtual. So I just want to say again that the only students who will be allowed to move to virtual are students who have a documented medical need. And your doctor will have to certify that. There is a form and it is on the Prince William County website. We will write down your name, the person that asked this question, and we can also send you the information directly. So you can fill that out and they will, so one of the options for, if you have a medical need, you have to go through the homebound process. And so one of the options is the opportunity to receive virtual instruction. Okay, will there be plexiglass dividers? Let me see, hold on. Will there still be plexiglass dividers in the cafeteria or classroom? The answer to that is no. We will not have plexiglass dividers in the cafeteria or the classroom this year, at least not right now. The students will be masked in the classroom. And in the cafeteria, there are no masks while they eat. They will put the masks on as soon as they are finished eating, but there will not be any dividers in either of those locations. There are some minor exceptions to that, though. One of the exceptions is for students who cannot wear a mask, like some of our special needs students who cannot wear a mask, there will still be dividers in their classrooms because they cannot wear a mask. I know the other exception is in the speech room, there will still be a divider because they don't wear a mask in speech because we have to be able to hear them clearly and see the production of the sounds and everything. So that is an exception. Okay, where do we get the bus schedule? The bus schedules will be available August 17th, I believe, is what it said. It will be available in Parent View. So you will have to click on Parent View to get the bus schedule if your child, when the bus schedules have been published. And that's for children who are in regular general education and for students who are in special education.
Ms. Johnson, we have a couple of questions in Spanish. We're going to ask Ms. Hawkins to unmute and answer those questions. Thank you.
Veo dos preguntas. Una de ellas es si esta reunión estaba en español. La reunión ha sido en inglés porque ningún padre pidió que fuera traducida a español. Habrá un open house para conocer a los maestros. Será el día 19 de agosto de 4:30 a 6 de la tarde. La reunión para conocer a los maestros es para todos los estudiantes, nuevamente de 4:30 a 6 de la tarde. Let me see, there's another one. I think that's the only question in Spanish, right? Just the open house so far.
You give the answer August 19th, 4:30 to 6 o'clock.
Yes, I did
Okay.
give them that information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The next question is, school used to provide extracurricular activities in the morning before school starts. How about next year? We are planning to go back to extracurricular activities in the morning before school starts. We're not quite ready to do that yet, but we are planning to do that this year at some point. Will I get information on my child's teacher prior to the first day of school? Yes, that information will be available in Parent View as of August 18th. We are trying to get it done as quickly as we can, so hopefully we can get it to you before August 18th. But the information about who your child's teacher is and what your child's schedule is will be available in Parent View August the 18th. If your child has an IEP or receives speech services, if your child has an IEP for anything, the case manager will contact you regarding those services for speech. The other services for virtual students will be provided by the virtual teacher, but we will contact you regarding that schedule. The next question is, are all the gifted students going to be virtual or in person as well, and where? So again, if you have already selected the virtual option, then your child will be virtual. If you did not select the virtual option, then your child will be in person. Gifted services will be provided. I believe we said gifted services would be provided in person. Hold on, I'm just going back through and double checking just to make sure I have it correct. So I think for virtual students, the gifted services will be provided virtually, and for in-person students, the gifted services will be provided in person. Yes, if the difference is that the gifted students will receive services through the gifted teacher here at Williams, Miss Spin, not through a virtual teacher, but the service will be provided virtually. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. We've answered that question. The next question says, will the virtual setup require extended Zoom classes like last year? The virtual schedule, I'm not sure I understand that question. The virtual students will be online from the beginning of the day to the end of the day with some breaks in between, you know, for lunch and recess and for encore and for just because nobody can sit and look at a screen all day long. So they will have some breaks, but all of their instruction will be provided virtually, and it will not extend beyond the end of the school day. So they will have a full school day, however. I hope that answered your question, Ms. Pitts. If that was not what you were looking for, feel free to email me and I can answer a little more in depth. I see a question. Will the students have their opportunity to meet their teachers before the classes start? Again, our our open house will be on August 19th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock in person. And we will let you know the times of the virtual open house by grade level. So we will put that in our parent newsletter. I see a question asking about SAC. And the question is, will the SAC program be the same as it was before COVID? As far as I know, yes, I do not have any information that the SAC program will be any different. I know last year we did not have SAC, but we will be having SAC again this year, and it will be the same as pre-COVID as far as I know. Okay, can you explain how the cafeteria will operate? My child is entering first grade, so I'm not familiar with pre-pandemic capacity. Absolutely. So in the cafeteria, the students go in as a class. We have 2 lines, one on either side. So we send the teachers take 2 classes at a time. the kids go through the cafeteria line and they are able to select what entree they want. What, you know, if they want, I don't know, whatever the choices are, pizza or chicken nuggets, whichever one they want. The cafeteria staff will put it on their trays and then give it to them. And then they have some a fresh fruit and vegetable bar, which we did not use last year. I am not certain that we will use that this year because that requires all the kids to touch the tongs to get the fresh vegetables and the fresh fruits. So I'm not 100% certain we're going to use that. In fact, my hunch is that will operate a little differently, but that's a question that we will write down and try to get some more information about. But the students then can select a fresh fruit or a fresh vegetable and whatever condiments they need. They and because they're not paying, they don't really have to give the lunch number or anything. Then they come out of the lunch line and they go sit at the cafeteria tables, and we will be sitting on both sides of the cafeteria table. So they sit with their class. So we will have assigned seats in the cafeteria, and the seat assignment will be the same. They will be sitting next to the same students that they're sitting next to in the classroom. That will help us avoid having to quarantine large numbers of students. So if someone becomes ill and we end up having to quarantine the person that sits next to them because they were a close contact in the cafeteria without a mask, that will be the person that they have sat next to all day. So we're going to try to, you know, keep it down by having kids in the same little group the whole day. Will the school provide manipulatives and supporting materials this year similar to last year? Yes, we will. So for the virtual students who need any kind of math manipulatives at home or any kind of materials at home, we will provide those. How can virtual students connect with their class teacher? By Class Dojo. I am not sure what platform they are going to use, whether it will be Class Dojo or another platform. But when we have the open house or the orientation with the virtual program, they will tell us how we can best get in contact with them. That is another question that we are writing down to look up the answer to, or to find out the answer. There's a question about whether or not students will eat in the classroom or the lunchroom. Students will eat in the cafeteria. Who will be my daughter's teacher? There are 3 teachers for 5th graders. So the teacher assignments again will be posted and available to you via Parent View on August the 18th. Again, we are working hard to get that process completed before then so that we can get that information to you sooner. But at the latest, it will be August 18th and it will be available in Parent View. Are students allowed to bring their own lunch? Yes, they are. They are free lunch and breakfast is available to all students, but yes, students may bring their own lunch if they would like to. How are requests for teacher changes handled for 1st graders? I'm not quite sure I understand that question. We have not assigned teachers yet. I did send out some information at the end of last year that gave parents the opportunity to request the type of teacher and the type of classroom that you thought your child would learn best in. If you responded to that information, then we have done our best to pair you with the teacher, the type of teacher and classroom that you requested. But once the teachers are assigned, we will not be making teacher changes except in very, very limited circumstances. And so you can just contact me directly if there is an issue. Where is student pickup and drop off? So we do have a car rider lane, and parents will be dropping off and picking up students in the car rider lane. We will assign car rider numbers to every student. If you have a car rider number from last year, you will use the same one. If not, then if you were not here last year or you are a new student, we will be assigning car rider numbers, and the car rider lane is not the lane that's closest to the school. That's the bus lane. It's the next lane. The next question says, will masks be provided if a child loses theirs or if the masks become damaged? Yes, we do have a healthy supply of child-sized masks in the office. And if students come to school without a mask, or if they lose it, or if it becomes damaged, or anything happens to it, we will supply a new one. All right, and then I see, even with COVID-19, will we be allowed to escort our kids to class on the first day? That's Dr. Tyler. I'm going to say I'm not sure at this point. I will let you know, or we will have the teachers let you know. We'll put it in the parent newsletter, but the teachers will also talk about that at Meet the Teacher open house. I'm not sure yet if we are going to allow that. My hunch is going to be that we are not, because that brings too many unknown people into the building at the same time. And we are going to do our very best to limit the number of people who are in the building at any one time, including parents. We are just limiting visitors. The more people who are in a tight space, the more chances there are for people to infect one another. So, but we will let you know for sure coming up. Okay, I think I have gone through all of those questions. Are there any other questions, Ms. Garcia, that I did not get to, that I did not see, or
Ms.
parents?
Johnson,
Yes.
can I address a question
Yes.
a parent was asking in Spanish, if where they can find the school supplies?
Absolutely.
Ok, si usted necesita los materiales escolares pueden acceder a la lista en la página web del colegio. Simplemente visiten la página del colegio, Mary Williams, MWES, MWES, y en la página principal encuentran una fotografía donde pone materiales escolares, le dan a esa imagen y ahí podrán obtener una lista por grado de los materiales escolares. Gracias. Thank you.
And we have one question
you.
about parent volunteers. Will parents be allowed to volunteer in school?
That is another question that is still being discussed, and we will let you know as soon as we have been given guidance by the school division on that question. We will put that information in the parent newsletter as well.
And there is another question on the August 19th Meet the Teacher event. Will kindergartners be able to come and meet their teachers? And
Yes.
the answer is yes.
That Meet the Teacher is open to all students.
Another question is, do in-person students get a device as well?
Yes, all students will be given devices.
I believe these are all the questions from the chat.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for trusting us. We understand that there are lots of concerns out there about what school will look like this year. So if you have any additional questions that we have not addressed, please don't hesitate to email. You can email me and Ms. Garcia, or call the school, and we will, as I said, we will do our best to answer them. Any question that we don't have an answer to just yet, we will get an answer to. We will find out the answer and we will get back to you. But thank you all for your time and have a great afternoon.
We have two more questions, Ms. Johnson.
Okay.
Are the virtual students assigned to a class in Mary Williams?
They will be assigned to a class in Mary Williams, because if they are virtual and they decide to come back in person, then they will go to that classroom. They will not be able to go back and forth, but if you are virtual and then you decide to come back in person, you will be. So if you would like to come and meet the teacher on August the 19th, you are welcome to do so as well.
Okay,
I see a question, is the meet and greet on the 19th solely for students or may parents attend? Parents, please attend. Please come and bring your child so that your child can meet his or her teacher and so that you can meet the teacher. We want you to get to know the teacher as well. I
Okay.
see one more question. Will the devices be the same as last year? I am not sure. Do you mean, will it be the exact same device, or not sure what you mean by that? Do you mean, did we get new computers over the summer because we had such a hard time? We had such a problem with those computers last year. Is that what you're asking? I'll kind of, yes, that's what you're asking. That's what I thought. Okay. So we do have some new computers. We were able to replace some of the computers because we did have such a hard time with the computers last year. The ones that were not replaced, the ones that are not brand new, have been updated over the summer, and we are praying and hoping and pretty confident that we will not have the kind of problems that we had last year. Remember, last year we weren't prepared to have to give every child computer. So the computers that we had were not, were not the best for that, but hopefully that has been resolved this year. Kindergartners will get there's a question about kindergartners. Kindergartners will get their teacher on the 18th as well. Everyone's teacher will be available in parent view as of August 18th. Okay, is that it? All right, well, thank you all again. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
On the 19th. Thank you, Ms. Hawkins.